Hi, gorgeous, and welcome back to the Source Diva Podcast. Super excited, as always, to get into today's podcast episode. This one is definitely channeled. I had wrote down a list of podcast episodes that I had wanted to create and would refer to them when I wanted to sit down and tune into the energy and channel more intuitive information about it. But this one just feels fresh and yummy in my mind. I'm also ovulating. I also have been insanely connected to my hobbies and my passions. So it has made the energy of attraction in my field amplified 10x. So today we're going to be talking about some intuitive things around attraction and feeling sexy within yourself and what this means on an intuitive sense, because I have this massive, huge soul desire to helping women feel more connected to their bodies, to themselves, being a source diva, which there's so many different parts and pieces and components that go into this, so many different foundations, so many different levels, so many different aspects, right? And one of them being is attraction and feeling sexy within yourself and what this actually means on an intuitive sense. I do have my sweetheart next to me right here because she's laying on the floor. We just did neighborhood patrols, so great times, great times. And I just want to start off by saying, just to give you a background. So and this is such a raw, real, truth and experience of the things, what I've overcome, because I've never ever in my entire life have been this connected to my sexuality, my sensuality, my sense of attraction to myself, my life, my passions, my hobbies. And you might think, oh, Shayla, you lost a bunch of weight, you just look better, you wear your hair different now, all these things. No, because these are different layers, so many different layers. And I want to give you an example of an extreme where I used to be, where I was disconnected, and then where I am now, where it's source aligned, source diva, source foundation, intuition guiding me, holding me, really paving that embodiment of a source diva and integrating it into the layers of my life and what comes from it as a result, because it's very different. And there's a lot of dark force programming that go into this as well. If you've seen my last podcast episode on body perception, body dysmorphia versus dark force programming, this ties heavy into it as well. Okay. So I'm going to just start off with a little bit about my own experience. So I had grew up in a family, in a sense. My mother, which is really both parents for me at the time, she was everything for me at the time. She was very used her looks and physical appearance to her advantage to kind of get certain things. But when it came to me and my sister, it was very much so of you need to be a nun, essentially. You can't show skin, you can't do this, you can look pretty, but you can't pass into doing this, or really shielding and covering my sister and I from anything in terms of sex, or in terms of having those conversations, or of getting pregnant, or of being safe, or of being cautious. We didn't get any of that. It was more so of just you get pregnant, you're stupid, you're a slut, you're disgusting, you're a whore. And that's it. That's all we ever got. So because she had this over my head so fucking high, I and my sister later down the line also did the same thing, but a few years way down later, because she had that perception over my sister and I specifically. I'm talking about me at that time, where it was very shunned and censored, and very, like I said, either you're just a slut or a whore. There's no in between. You have to be 100% nun or you're a whore. That's it. There's no in between. And because of that, because she had that huge perception and identity and control, right? Because of the law of balance, which I didn't realize, but because of the law of balance, I have to balance it out. Okay. I'm a huge healer from my mom, and there's a lot of different layers about this. You keep seeing me look at this. It's because I don't want my mic to die like it did in my last podcast episode. So out of that experience, I literally had to take on the polar opposite to balance us out. So me, very, very young, extremely young, hypersexual, extremely young and hypersexual. And it was not good. It was unbalanced. It was unhealthy. It was dark force and fueled and forced, all of these fucking things. And then when I turned 14, it's when I started my spiritual journey, self-awareness journey. I shut myself off from everything. So then at some point, I literally thought I was asexual. I was with my ex-boyfriend eventually when we were in high school. I thought I was asexual, felt disconnected from my body, couldn't even look at myself naked, felt uncomfortable doing anything sexual, didn't feel attracted to myself, didn't feel sexy, didn't feel none of that, okay? Which at the time too was taking birth control, which has a heavy, heavy dark force. My cat's in front of me, has a heavy, heavy dark force thing of fucking with your hormones and removing you from all your emotions. And then fast forward, I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of feeling like this. I don't want to feel disconnected from my body. So I started to basically retrain myself because at the time I was already well into my spiritual journey, but not at the level and capacity that I am now. Granted, still some of the things I was very distorted as well, because I was falling into the very like new wave spirituality bullshit dynamics. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and like try to reclaim my sensuality and sexuality because this is putting a strain on me, putting a strain on my relationship. Let me try. So I'm like researching things about sexuality, sensuality, hearing podcasts that are extremely quote unquote vulgar so I can get used to it because it felt so uncomfortable that it felt disgusting in my body. Also extremely not balanced. Fast forward, I'm now 26. In the past, I would say month and a half, it's been more of an expressive outward thing where you can see it now. The fact that I even go out wearing crop tops with my pants rolled down so you can fully see my belly. Because even 2 months ago, I wouldn't dress like that being outside. Like I would wear shorts and I would wear, a top, but like you wouldn't see this amount of belly on me walking out and about. Even in the sense of like how I would dress things if I would go to my mom's house, like even if I was wearing a tank top, long leggings, and wasn't wearing a bra, you can clearly see cleavage. My mom still had the same thing, very big programming of, oh, you need to stop dressing like that. Like something's going to happen to you, which is another fear-based thing. Back to present day, being more connected to myself, being more connected to my intuition, being more connected to the parts of me that I fully can be liberated in, hence sexuality, attraction, feeling sexy, feeling desirable for me, not for anyone else, for me, is when it started to overflow to now it's an outwardly expression that you can see. But also too, if I wear fully, like something that fully covers my body, I still feel insanely, insanely, insanely attracted and sexy and desirable and sensual within myself. Your level of attraction, your level of desirability and sexy embodiment within yourself on an intuitive layer, it means how much you are willing and feeling and truly gracefully feel attracted and in love and in deep desire with your own life. Like your life turns you on. Your life, whatever is happening in your life, the things that you do, the time that you invest into certain things, the way that you sleep, the way that you do certain hobbies, the things that you do for work, you find them insanely attractive. You're attracted to them. Your life feels attractive, okay? And you're attracted to your life. You're attracted to the ever ongoing unfolding of your life. When I reflect back many years ago, I did not ever feel attracted to my life. I always was in a stage of, I can't wait until this happens. I can't wait until this happens. I can't wait until I start taking this path, until this unfolds, until this happens. Of course, there were moments in the present moment where I was happy and I enjoyed it, but I still was disconnected because the overall arching theme of my life, the overall arching energy and property of each of the areas of my life, which there's 8 areas of life. It was always, there's still another step. I'm not there yet. My life doesn't look as good as it could be if I was there at that level right now. Present day today, I don't have everything that I want, but I'm insanely attracted, continuously learning to be insanely attracted to every single micro moment of how my life is created and unfolding right now in front of me. And the present moment, look, embodiment, feel, and expression of it. The more present I am in that, the more mindful I am of that, the more I can feel into that. It trickles down into every single aspect of my life, where now, because the energy of I am so insanely attracted to my life, I love how much I am doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And I'm so excited and I'm just so turned on from how much my life looks right now and knowing that it's already becoming everything, but already right now it's everything for me, amplifies that energy within yourself, amplifies the layer of there is so much more juicy embodiment to my life right now. People, places, situations, circumstances have to follow suit, meaning people will be insanely attracted to you. Certain places will just draw you in and you will literally be the most juiciest in that place. Certain experiences will find you because they are insanely attracted to how attracted you are to yourself. And when it comes down and boils deeper into the aspect specifically of feeling sexy, feeling attracted to yourself, you have to understand that it's not from a place of what I'm wearing, what I'm physically doing, what kind of work can I get done for myself. The highest embodiment, the highest physical build, the highest attraction you have to your life, that correlates to how sexy you feel. Because women who, and this is another thing, because self-image is another component of it. My mom is a perfect example. We want to learn from anyone and everyone. My mom, insanely attracted to herself. She dresses hot. She wears really low cut tops. She's also had her breasts done and she loves to show off her physical build. But then when we look at her intuitively in every other area of life, she does not like her life, not attracted to her life, zero self-love, zero compassion, zero empathy for herself, and a desperate, desperate need to want to be loved. And I say this with so much awareness, and even honestly too, I'm spreading so much light on her, which kind of heals her in a sense. But I just want to let you know that I know so many women like that, my mom included, who have this huge thing of let me look sexy. If I look sexy, I'm going to be sexy. But then they have zero compassion, love, empathy, respect for themselves, true desirability to see themselves in the highest alignment with source, with God, with their intuition, invest into their goals, their dreams, their passions, their hobbies, fulfill themselves fully with a high soul match relationship, connections, partnerships, invest their energy and be very strict on boundaries. It's not there. None of it's there because the surface level appearance of sexy, which is a dark force programming narrative of this is what sexy looks like, you have to be half naked, is not the same as source aligned sexy, which source aligned sexy means my physical self is fully in alignment with my higher self, my physical build, and simultaneously I am investing time, energy, money, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual stamina into the areas of life that I genuinely want to feel more liberated and attracted to. Those are two components. Dark force narrative is, like I said, insane, low self-image, and you looking sexy. There's so many gaps and holes in that. That's why you see so many women who, and same thing applies to men too, this ongoing consistent thing of exposure to hypersexuality. And then if you look at every other area of their life, there's so many holes. They feel zero connection to themselves, fully disconnected from themselves, no compassion, no respect, no love for themselves, and a constant need of wanting validation or love or external desirability to be expressed to them. Ultimately, we want to fulfill every aspect. And with that in mind, it also means too, it will take years and years of practice, years and years of embodiment. Of course, we can speed things up, right? This is why I have the Source Diva class, the foundation. We have Source Diva Bootcamp. We can speed things up, especially too with intuition. We do the work, we can speed things up. But if not, it would literally take you years and years of practice and embodiment. Or, like I've said in previous podcast episodes, something external happening in your life that puts you so shitty in the gutters that you have no choice but to learn because of the experience. It might be when you're in your 50s, might be when you're in your 60s. You might then realize how sexy you are when you're 75, but we don't want to wait that long. We want to honor ourselves, God, source, higher self, all of our potentials right now, even if it takes us 2 years versus 25 years. All right, my love, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.